Ahura Mazda, the god of goodness and wisdom. Today, I want to take you back, far back, before modern religions, before familiar myths shaped the world as we know it. We're traveling to ancient Persia, to a worldview built not around chaos or fear, but around choice, truth, and moral responsibility. At the center of this vision stands Ahura Mazda, the god of goodness, wisdom, and light. Ahura Mazda is the supreme deity of Zoroastrianism, one of the oldest known monotheistic religions in human history. The name itself tells us a lot. Ahura means Lord, and Mazda means wisdom. So from the very beginning, this is not a god defined by brute force or capricious power, but by intelligence, understanding, and moral clarity. Ahura Mazda is not merely powerful, he is wise, and that distinction matters. In the Zoroastrian tradition, Ahura Mazda is the uncreated creator. He brings the universe into existence through thought, truth, and order. Creation is not accidental, and it is not meaningless. It is purposeful, structured, and fundamentally good. The world, as Ahura Mazda intended it, is a place where truth, known as Asha, can flourish. Asha represents cosmic order, honesty, righteousness, and the way things are meant to be. But here's where this belief system becomes truly fascinating. Unlike many mythologies where gods control everything, Ahura Mazda does not rule through absolute domination. Instead, the universe is a moral battlefield. Opposing Ahura Mazda is Angra Mainyu, also called Ahriman, the destructive spirit, the embodiment of deceit, chaos, and ignorance. This is not a simple story of good effortlessly crushing evil. It's a cosmic struggle, and humans are active participants in it. In Zoroastrianism, every thought, every word, and every action matters. Humans are not passive creations waiting for divine judgment. They are moral agents with real responsibility. The famous Zoroastrian ethical formula sums it up perfectly. Good thoughts, good words, good deeds. By choosing truth over lies, generosity over cruelty, wisdom over ignorance, humans actively assist Ahura Mazda in sustaining and advancing the good order of the universe. This idea was radical for its time. It framed morality not as blind obedience, but as conscious choice. Ahura Mazda gives humanity free will because wisdom without choice is meaningless. Goodness only has value if it is chosen freely. In this sense, Ahura Mazda is not a tyrant god demanding submission, but a teacher god inviting cooperation. Another key aspect of Ahura Mazda is his association with light and fire, not as objects of worship themselves, but as symbols. Fire represents clarity, truth, and the presence of wisdom. That's why Zoroastrian temples traditionally keep a sacred flame burning. It's not about worshiping fire, it's about remembering the inner light of discernment, the flame of reason and moral awareness that Ahura Mazda placed within humanity. Ahura Mazda is also surrounded by divine attributes known as the Amesha Spentes, often translated as holy immortals. These are not separate gods, but aspects of Ahura Mazda's nature, personified ideals like good mind, truth, devotion, wholeness, and immortality. Together, they form a moral framework for living. To follow Ahura Mazda is to align oneself with these qualities in everyday life. What's especially striking is how modern many of these ideas feel. The emphasis on ethical responsibility, on truth versus deception, on wisdom guiding power, these themes resonate deeply even today. Concepts found in later religions, such as heaven and hell, final judgment, angels, demons, and the ultimate triumphs of good over evil, are often traced back to Zoroastrian thought and the teachings centered on Ahura Mazda. But this is not a religion obsessed with punishment. The final victory of good is not about revenge, it's about restoration. In Zoroastrian belief, there will come a time when evil is rendered powerless, when falsehood collapses under the weight of truth, and when creation is renewed in a perfected state. This process is called frashokereti, the making wonderful again. And humanity helps bring it about through ethical living. Ahura Mazda, then, is not distant. He is present wherever wisdom is practiced, wherever truth is spoken, wherever a human being chooses integrity over convenience. He does not demand fear, he invites alignment. His power is not expressed through thunder or terror, but through insight, clarity, and moral vision. In a world still struggling with misinformation, ethical confusion, and the misuse of power, the figure of Ahura Mazda feels surprisingly relevant. He represents the idea that wisdom should guide authority, that goodness requires effort, and that the fate of the world is shaped not only by gods, but by the daily choices of ordinary people. So when we talk about Ahura Mazda as the god of goodness and wisdom, we're not just talking about an ancient deity, we're talking about a timeless principle, that truth is stronger than deception, that wisdom is greater than force, and that goodness is not automatic, it is something we must actively choose again and again. And perhaps that is Ahura Mazda's greatest legacy, not the demand to worship, but the challenge to think, to choose, and to live wisely.